All right, let's go. Day number 13 of running paid ads, and we have some new things. It's a Monday, so as always, we will probably get better results, hopefully. And I'll mention in a second why here, because yesterday on Sunday, there was just one click for around $50 in spend. And I will tell you in a second here why I mentioned that. Probably the headline will be something like $3,000 per lead or $6,000 per lead. But first of all, we do have a new sheet. So I'll show you a tracking sheet that I have here for tracking daily expenses, CPMs, link clicks, cost per click, and even the number of leads on a daily basis. And fortunately, I do have someone who helps me with this, so I don't have to copy paste all the time, because yeah, some things are definitely not enjoyable, but you still have to do the hard work, especially in the beginning. But let's come back to the title of this video. And one side note here, this is actually the second time that I'm filming this video, because the first time the microphone wasn't connected. Shit happens. Anyway, let's get straight to the business here. So first of all, why did I mention in the title $3,000 lead or something along that line? Well, because we are in the B2B world here, right? We're not selling to consumers. We're not selling some kind of pen. We're selling basically services with a high value, right? So basically you are only working with an online store, with a lead generation agency, with someone who actually also has a high ticket service, right? They have a high ticket service, you have a high ticket service. Although in my case, honestly, it's not exactly the client having a high ticket, because it's e-commerce. So they actually have a lower ticket, let's say, but it's high volume. So more or less is the same. That's why it's called B2B, right? In business, it's all about bigger numbers overall at the end of the month. And the reason why I was mentioning this high cost per lead is because yesterday there was a comment on the last video mentioning the following thing, or actually the following question. Something along the lines of, and I'm paraphrasing here, did you close any deal, right? So to give some context, we have 12 days until now, right? It's the 13th of January right now, 2025. So we run ads for the first 12 days. And the total spend was around $500, which is not necessarily a lot. I'll show you in a second here that there were enough clicks, I would say, enough leads, enough meaning that there were over 15 by this point. However, something that I also replied to just a couple of minutes ago to that comment as well was that this is fairly early, meaning that in my world and in anyone's world who is doing high ticket selling, right? Or selling a service that's higher ticket, you can spend more to acquire a customer, right? So for example, for me, it would even make sense to pay 3K or 6K to acquire a lead, meaning that I'm willing to spend $3,000 to get a client or $6,000 to get a client, and it might still be profitable. I say might because they will need to stay around 3 months or so in order to actually make sure that there is some profit, and then after that it's almost all profit, of course, except the fixed costs for the agency and so on. However, that is definitely a helpful mindset, because imagine if you are spending $500 and quit because you didn't close a deal, then that channel, paid ads, is gone for you, right? However, if you're willing to spend 1,000, 1.5K, 2K, 2.5K, 3K, right? That is how you continue to get data. And remember this, the person who is going to spend $3,000 to get data will most probably be at a much higher level overall than the person who stopped at $500, right? And it's true, you're taking a risk. There's no guarantee here. But that is why some people are way ahead of others, because they take risks, right? So I don't want to make this way too long, just because I also have a call with a lead from the ads, and I'm pretty sure they are unqualified, let's say, because they're making under 10K, they are spending under 10K on ads, probably just at the beginning. And I'm seeing a lot of people actually in that stage, right? but I don't have any course for that, any kind of mentorship. I could make an offer about that, but still it's not the stage where I'm at right now, meaning that I do prefer to work with businesses, get more case studies, have so much, let's say, inbound from there, and then also the personal brand growing so much that, let's say, the demand is very high, right? Because you do need a lot of demand in order to sell coaching, courses, mentorship, although honestly courses are not necessarily the best just because you do need hand holding. That's the most important thing. I'm actually in a mentorship program right now. I think the call is actually right now in the background. Yeah, the call is in the background here, but I can be active just because I need to make this video, and then in a few minutes I have another call. So it's like super busy times. But at some point, probably this is what you asked for. So let's look at what's happening in the ad account. Not as much, honestly. So that's why I want to focus more so on how we can think of paid ads, because it's a very long game. And it's more so about the mindset. If you have the right mindset, you can definitely play this game for a longer time, right? It's just like expecting to be the best basketball player, football player, soccer player, or whatever, right? Depending on where you're at, what sport you like. It takes time. It takes repetition. It takes basically focused repetition, and also improving based on that, based on what you're seeing. Does this work? Does this not work, right? So there are so many small things that you see along the way, and then they become really easy to spot. And that's basically experience, right? Fortunately, it can be gained very fast as long as you actually are in the game and play for a long time, and let's say quickly, and try to improve. But not to make this too long, we can probably keep it under 10 minutes. Let me see why I have here a notification, basically mentioning the call that I just have 10 minutes before. So let's switch the camera to the spreadsheet so I can show you this cool spreadsheet. Nothing crazy, honestly, but it's helpful, I would say. And then let's look at the ad account as well. So let's switch the camera. All right, so we are on the laptop right now. You can see the screen. I hope it's focused. It should be. So let me show you what we have here. So we have the dates. As you can see, we have the 1st of January here, and then it ends, the data ends at 12th because that was the last day we were tracking. And let me zoom in here just so you can see better. All right. Not like this. All right, someone is going to kill me for actually destroying this. So let me see if I can zoom in here. All right, so as you can see, this is the spend. So we started at $15 a day, and then yesterday it was 51. Then the CPMs, the link clicks. As you can see, yesterday just one link click, and it was $51. So hella expensive. However, there was one lead, right? So this is where you can see that even though here there were 7 clicks and $3.72 per click, 0 leads. Here there was just 1 click, but 1 lead. So this is why this is actually more important. And something to take into account is this, the views, right? All right, so I pressed the wrong button here, because if you go here and go to sum, you will see that there were 7.8k views, right? So this means that 7.8k, not necessarily people, because not everyone was unique, meaning that some of them saw an ad 2 times, but there were a couple of thousand of people who actually saw either my face, my ad, the actual copy in it, right? So this is something to take into account, the fact that you actually gain more visibility over time, which is important. But let me go into the ad account. So yesterday we had here, so we have 1 campaign, multiple ad sets. And here from this one, the instant form that was actually between the ages of 25 and 55. Let's look at it real quick. The results are from the age of 25, 44 male. So that is a good target audience. I'm actually in it as well. And if we look at today, we'll see that we also had 1 lead. And actually this person booked a call. So this is the person I have a call with in just a few minutes here. So as you can see, on Mondays, we do have more clicks. So this is an important detail, because over time you get to know what happens on different days, and you can even change the spend, right? So for example, if you know that on Mondays you get more clicks, more attention, more leads, then you can spend more, and then on Sundays you could try to spend less. But I would say that's pretty much it here. So let's switch the camera back. All right, so we're back, and as you've seen, there's also a spreadsheet, because what gets tracked or what gets measured gets managed. I think there's actually a book with that name, and that's true. If you actually take your weight daily, right, you will know exactly how to adjust your nutrition and so on. And this is an example I give very often, because repetition really is key. Like, so many things are basic. Just like a basketball player, you have to do the same thing, right? I mean, it's not like you're doing something new each game. You're actually doing more or less the same thing, but you just have to do it with consistency. And that's the good thing in business. If you play the game long enough, if you take out the emotions as much as possible and follow a process, then you will eventually get the success that you probably want, because it's almost inevitable, as not so many people are able to do that day in, day out. But that's why first you have to make sure your sleep is all right, your nutrition, and then your mindset, and then you can actually focus on the pieces from business, right? So you do need a couple of other things, some prerequisites. But not to make this too long, just because, let's see, in 5 minutes I have the call, so we have to end it. And it's not necessarily short, right? It's still above 10 minutes, so that's good. But hope you gain some insights, maybe just the tracking sheet, and how I also try to make sure that I'm tracking things on a daily basis, because the more you track things, the likelier you are to actually improve them. But that's pretty much it. So see you in tomorrow's video. Peace.